As promised, this is a deeper dive into assignment number one, which is the first coursework that you'll be asked to submit. It is due on May 25th. It is due by midnight on May 25th, and it will be uploaded to the Blackboard page. Assignment number one is about a publication called the 1619 Project. This was released 6 years ago in 2019, and it was released on that date because it commemorated the 400-year uh, anniversary, for lack of a better word, of when the first enslaved Africans were brought to the shore of what is now the United States. The objective of the 1619 Project was to kind of center slavery in the story of American history. In the contributors' view, slavery wasn't some, like sideshow. It was the thing that more than anything else shaped the founding and the development of the United States. And that it's not just something we've left in the past, but that if you know where to look and what you're looking at, you can see the impacts of slavery all over America still today. Now, you might not be surprised to learn that made the 1619 Project very controversial among some people, namely Republicans. I'm not getting political here, but that's who responded negatively to this. And they have led the backlash against the 1619 Project. And it tells us a lot about where we are right now in America. So it makes for a perfect assignment. So I'm going to tell you what you'll be writing about. And then the part that's tricky is how you access the 1619 Project. Let me read through the questions first. Number one, what is the central argument that the 1619 Project makes about the role of slavery in the founding and the development of the United States of America? Well, you can rewind this video because I basically just told you. But this, of course, is also made very clear in the 1619 Project itself. By the way, this was published by the New York Times Magazine. So that was kind of like the venue through which this material was made available to the public. Question number two. Provide two specific examples provided by the 1619 Project on how slavery has affected the continued development of the United States. For each example, make sure that you note the author of the particular essay and to summarize its major points. Your discussion should demonstrate how, according to the author, the impact of slavery is still evident in America today. Now, again, I'll show you the 1619 Project, and I'll highlight some of those essays for you so that you know what it is I'm asking you about here. And the third question is about the backlash. What criticisms have Republican politicians made of the 1619 Project? Highlight the criticisms made by at least two prominent political figures. Now, for this question, you must also cite the source or the citation that you found that answer. You won't have trouble doing that because this was, again, big news and everybody reported on it. That source should be academically appropriate. So, a major newspaper or a credible news source. Try to avoid, it can't be from Wikipedia, can't be from Reddit, can't be from TikTok. And you should avoid, sites that are going to be clearly biased, that have a political agenda. But you won't have trouble finding source on that. It's everywhere. All right, so how do you actually access the 1619 project? There are 3 different ways. I think most of you will probably listen to the podcast. There is a 1619 Project podcast. It is available for free. I use Spotify. I know it's on Spotify. And it's probably on other podcast platforms as well. It's a 5-part podcast. Each part is about an hour or so. But obviously, this provides you the convenience of being able to listen to it, wherever you are, whatever you are doing. And you're not going to have to listen to all 5 hours or anything like that. That's probably the most convenient thing to do. If I was engaging with this material for the first time, that is probably what I would do. There is also a 5-part mini-series that is available on Hulu. Now, obviously, Hulu requires a subscription. So I know that is not going to be an option for everybody. But if you do have Hulu and you learn better through watching, then you can do that. However, it's also available in its original printed form. Now, you can't access it, excuse me, online because the New York Times will make you pay for it. But I had a friend who had the New York Times Magazine, and they provided all their readers with a PDF, a downloadable PDF of the podcast, of the 1619 Project, and she was nice enough to share that with me, and now I am sharing it with you. So if you actually want to read the 1619 Project as it originally appeared, you can use the link here on Blackboard. It will open up like this. Now, it's a little bit clunky doing it this way because you also have all the advertisements that you would have gotten in the New York Times Magazine. So you got to kind of sort through that stuff before you get to the good material. There's an introduction here. Again, you can see it's kind of awkward because the pages are divided like that. But once you get through that material, you get a table of contents of sorts here. And then once you get through some more material there, you do eventually get on page 14 to the beginning of the first essay. This is an essay by the editor of the 1619 Project, Nicole Hannah Jones. But let me highlight some of the really cool essays in the 1619 Project. If you go to page 30, there is an essay by a man named Matthew Desmond, and he is writing about how slavery shaped and has continued to impact the development of American capitalism. Now, these essays are short. They go from like 1 page to like 7 pages. They're not extensive readings. Heavy material, but not long. If you don't like that, you can go to page 60. There is a essay by Wesley Morris about the African American origin on American popular culture, specifically music, and how that art has often been appropriated and outright stolen. My favorite is on page 80. There is a short essay by Brian Stevenson about how slavery helped shape the criminal justice system in this country, all the way to the mass incarceration of our current time. And there are other essays as well. There is one about the healthcare inequalities, difficulties of Black Americans to this day to get quality healthcare. And there are some other ones as well. The 1619 Project as a whole, here's one about kind of like real estate segregation, things like that. So the 1619 Project as a whole, as you can see, is 100 pages. Obviously, I would never want you or ask you to read all. Well, I'd love for you to read all 100 pages, but I'm not asking you to. You just have to kind of make your way through two of these essays or contributions. And on question 2, that's what I'm asking you for. Discuss two of those essays or contributions at some length. Identify the author or the contributor. Summarize its major points. Make sure you also demonstrate how, according to the author, the impact of slavery is still evident in America today. And that's the 1619 Project. Hopefully that kind of clarifies what it is I'm asking you to do and how to access it. If you have any further questions, as always, let me know through email.